back to Speak Life, where we sow seeds today for tomorrow's harvest. My name is Mark Mead. I'm your host, and I'm excited to come with a message today talking about risk taking. As entrepreneurs, as business people, as people who live life and walk through life day to day, being risk averse is cool up until like a point. And then at some point we gotta take that chance. We gotta be ready to take that chance. I've always been a level of risk taker. And let's be real, there are levels to this. There are levels to taking risks. So I want to talk to you about one of the introductory levels to taking risk and how to punch through being risk averse, how to punch through being afraid to take that chance. And so we all know that with practice and repetition comes skill. Practice and repetition is the mother of skill. So if you want skill in something, you have to practice it. It's just the way it is. That's no different with risk. It sounds funny to say, hey, let's practice taking risks. No, I think that is exactly it. To give you an idea, when I was in college, I was in sales. One of the things that I was looking to try to do was make money amongst my peers. I'm from New Jersey. I went to school in Rhode Island, and in Rhode Island and Boston area, there's a lot of New York influence, and you got a lot of people that love the style of New York, at least back in that day, 1999, 2000. I knew I had a different flavor that they wanted because there was a lot of New York guys in Rhode Island. There was a lot of Jersey guys in Rhode Island, and we just had a different swag. We also had the ability to get materials faster, newer, better, more styles. This is clothes, this is sneakers, boots, jackets, winter coats. And so I was going to go home, pick up a bunch of material, bring it back up to Rhode Island and sell it. Now that's a risk. It's calculated risk, but it is a risk. Number one, once I buy the product, I can't take it back. Now, in order for me to buy it at a discount, some type of lower price, I actually have to get it in bulk. I actually have to buy a decent amount, a decent clip. Now, what I've also learned in clothing distribution, which I've done a decent share of in my lifetime from middle school into college, is if you think something's hot and you don't have an audience for it, you're going to lose money on it. You can't go too crazy in quantities unless you know it's hot. And there's items that everybody wants. And then there's items you're taking a risk on because you can get at a better price, you can make more of a profit on it, you can move. There's just things that you can do with it. So, but sometimes you get stuck with something that you thought you could move. And so I would go down there and I'd buy Timberlands and jeans and just different types of shirts and hoodies and jackets. And I'd bring them back up and I'd have duffel bags on campus. I'm going to class, I'm doing what I got to do, but I'm moving product. Why do I bring this up? Because risk was involved. Number one, are you willing to bet on yourself? Because if you are, you're already beating a lot of the risk. Number two, do you have an audience for what it is you are taking a risk on? Is there someone on the other side of this that is interested in what you're taking a risk on? If it's a product. And number three, did you weigh the cost of the risk? And so what's the cost of the risk in this situation? Me getting up to the school and knowing who my target audience is, kind of knowing who some of the players are, knowing who has an appetite for sneakers or boots or jackets or or jeans, knowing who those people are, knowing I can't overcharge because people aren't stupid and they're not going to overpay even for quick access. And then I need size, quantity, and stuff like that. Now, what I learned to do was start taking semi-orders before I left, but I'd always have extra product. I say this because it's all risk. And so where are you at right now with your next risk? I've taken thousands of risks in my life. Most of them are calculated. But where are you at with your next risk? And so I have next risk right now that I'm working through. And so I'm okay with you being nervous, having butterflies, even being afraid. What I'm not okay with is the fear crippling you to not act. And sometimes the fear comes and it's okay because it's that you've calculated the risk and that calculation is not in your favor. I'm with you. But if you've calculated that risk and it's in your favor, fear could stop you from taking that risk. I've been there many times. But we need to talk about a quote by Nipsey Hussle. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious don't live at all. And so I'd rather be brave and die early than be cautious and not live at all. And so I've lived my life like that. I'm going to empower you today to make your next decision that has risk in it, that's in your favor, and punch through it. Because here's the deal. We talked about practicing risk. Well, how do you practice? The only way to practice is to take shots. The great Wayne Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I don't want to be the guy or gal that doesn't take the shot. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want a sea of memories, a sea of regrets of shots that I did not take. I don't want that. I don't think you want that. I took a shot when I asked Robin out on a date. She could have said no. It wasn't that simple. I can tell you the story at a different time. I had to take a shot. She had too much of what I was looking for. I had to take a shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm all for stability. I'm all for some levels of control. I'm all for some levels of consistency. I'm all about it. I think certain risks in your life are going to come in different forms and fashions. Some people have a really high risk tolerance at a young age. You talk about the rule of 100, and I come from the financial advisor life insurance world. So in the investment world, the rule of 100 means if you're 23 years of age, you should have 77% of your money in the market and 23% of it in a safe place. But if you're 77 years of age, you should have 77% of your money in a safe place and 23% of it in the market because of your age and your ability to accept and deal with more risk and loss at a younger age. And so when you think about that rule of 100 in business or in real life or what we're doing, yes, when you're younger, you could take bigger, hairier risk. But it depends on your personality type. So let's be clear about that. All I'm trying to do is get you to move the needle a little bit from where you are to where you're trying to go and to not be afraid to pull the trigger, to have the courage to punch fear in the face and go after what it is you want. When I look at risk and I look at decision making, a risk is buying a copy machine. I know I need it. I'm scared every time I look at a new cost. Just about. A risk is buying a house. A risk is buying a car. A risk is, buying a watch. A risk is, putting, money into tech, putting money into innovation, hiring a new staff. I don't know. I think you get through it the more you practice it. You get better at saying yes faster. But make no mistake about it, initially, it's nerve-wracking. And so if you don't get to that place, it'll always be nerve-wracking. When I was buying my first house, risky, scary. Buying my first investment property, risky, scary. And it's like once you start getting used to this stuff, it's old hat. It no longer has the same intimidation. You get to take your processing skills, speed them up, create a faster processor in your brain to allow you to go through the checks and balance quicker with more skill. You analyze things better. You see where the holes are faster. You create the opportunity. You're bridging the gaps faster every single time you go through the process again, and it allows you to get better and better and better. I'll leave you with this. if you take the risk and it doesn't go well, it doesn't mean you need to be gun shy. It means you need to reevaluate how you got where you got and make adjustments so that the next time you take the same risk, you are better than you were the last time. That's your only goal here, ladies and gentlemen. Your only goal is to get better than you were the last time. And every time you get better than the last time, you're moving closer and closer into being an expert. I do hope this brings value. If you like this kind of content, we're going to talk all things business, all things entrepreneur, all things life, all things to get you better, provide value. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Share this with someone who's going through something like this. In the comments, let's talk about the time you first started taking risks and were nervous, but what you did to overcome it. I want this to be a community where we're growing from each other, learning from one another, and getting better. Let's keep speaking life. Let's keep sowing seeds. We'll definitely keep reaping those harvests. God bless you.